2, 1, 0.
Uno, dos, tres, cuatro.
10 minutes late.
Yeah.
Okay, everyone. Hello. We are
We're
live.
finally here.
10 minutes late, but we are live, and we will explain why in a moment. Welcome to Wellness Wednesday. Feel like I need to take a big breath.
Big breath.
Conversations to raise vibrations. My name is Lisa Kelly, and as always, I am joined by the beautiful Elvira Hopper, who I absolutely love in pink, and you just look gorgeous, by the way. I think I did say that on a call we were both on last night. So,
That's why I wore it today, because
love
you
it.
liked it last night.
Perfect. Okay, if you are joining us live, please let us know in the comments. Hopefully you've given StreamYard permission to share your name. And if you're watching later on replay, just hit hashtag replay. And as always, tell us what you love about these conversations. And if you're joining us on our beautiful new YouTube channel, thank you. And we would love, love, love it if you would like, share, and share and subscribe to our channel. See, my mind is gone after what just happened. We've been sitting backstage in the studio, everyone, since we always join about 10 minutes beforehand. So for 20 minutes. And at first, Elvira's mic wouldn't work. And we're like, oh, that's weird. So she clicks off, joins again. Nope, nothing. She decides she's going to shut down her computer. Nothing. I had started a chat with StreamYard chat in the comments. And then she couldn't hear me. And it just went dead. And then for whatever reason, at 10 after 11, it all came back on. Maybe there's something in that.
Ooh. Or was it 11:11? No, 10 after.
It was 11:07.
11:07. Okay. Wow.
Not sure.
Interesting.
But
Okay.
anyways, I was like, oh my gosh. So just to let all of you know, we actually haven't had a moment to chat. So this is going to be really authentic.
Totally off the cuff. Yeah.
About what we're talking about. However, as I was chatting to the StreamYard, whoever, Andre, in the comments, and trying to figure this out and problem solve, beforehand, I had done a meditation and I pulled a card. So I said to Elvira, in the meantime, look at this card and think about what we're going to talk about. So I'm going to share this card now with everyone.
Yes.
It's my favorite Sacred Rebel deck. I love this. Alana Fairchild's favorite deck. And this is called Seeing the True You. And this card was all about seeing yourself from within versus what others say about you. And so I think that's what we're going to be discussing today.
I think so. You go first. You go first.
First. Yay. Okay. You know what? Let's dive in because
yeah. This is great.
Right. At first, when I pulled this card, I thought, oh, the cards never lie, right? But at first I thought, oh, I don't really know what this has to do with me. But it was very interesting. And I'm just only going to read the beginning part because Elvira, you and I have talked about this before. So, okay, sometimes we believe what others tell us we are as though the self we see reflected back to us through their eyes is truth. Yet the accuracy of a reflection depends on the clarity of that which is doing the reflecting. If the receiver forms any opinion about what is perceived, then what is reflected back to us will, at best, be distorted. I'm going to move on because there was a part in here that reminded me of what you said to me. There may be those around you that are able to reflect you more faithfully and even help you see more of your own greatness.
Oh my gosh.
And then it goes on to say, surround yourself with those people that see that for you. And, I see your greatness every time I look at you. I see your truth, your beauty, your greatness every time I look at you. And I know you've said the same thing to me. So it's funny how we just even, okay, yes, it's reflected back to us in what others have said to us or what they think of us. And it may not be truth, right? Our own truth, but we do pick it up and we do believe it. And then that forms our limiting beliefs and that forms, well, I'm not good enough because, my grade 6 teacher told me I'm not good enough or I'm not smart enough. So then we hold on to those beliefs. and we somehow see them as truth.
Mm.
And if we just take a moment to look within and actually tap into that center, we know the truth within us,
Mm.
right? And that's
Yeah.
about seeing the true you and
Yeah.
finding those people like you that see the truth and the beauty of who you truly are within.
Yeah.
Does that
Yeah.
make sense?
Oh, total sense, Lisa. And this couldn't come at a better time because I don't know if you caught it on Facebook. I've been promoting this event next week in my group,
Yeah.
the Retreat and Recreate to Evolve and Elevate group. So, the Love Your Vibe transformation
Mhm,
is a movement.
mhm,
I'm not doing this alone. Other people are using this to help others, heart-centered humans, as I like to say. And they're also going to use my platform to share their own unique story,
mhm,
message, and magic that's here to
mhm.
help the world as well. And so next week we're going to go live every day in the group from Monday to Friday, from 12 to 12:30 Eastern Standard Time. So it's just a half hour a day, but we're going to have a playbook that you get to play with. You get to try on some of the teachings and tools for size
Yep.
free, all free. And,
Nice.
and it's all about, being seen, being witnessed in community. We talk about our containers are places where everyone is safe, seen, celebrated, and supported.
Yeah.
So even if you show up with trauma in your past and you've got to clear things, if you're showing up, in a dark place, with mental health, or your relationships are really, not good. And, the idea is once you start doing the inner work, right? We talk about the inner work. You do it your way, Lisa. I do it my way. This method of doing the inner work is a 6-month program where you have a mentor and you have other people, like less than 8 people in the group.
Right.
And when you're truly seen as your greatness in
Mhm,
these groups and
mhm,
you're practicing teachings and tools that were divinely gifted to me, they saved my life, my
mhm,
sanity, my marriage, helped me
mhm,
to go from crap magnet to miracle magnet, living
mhm,
the life of my dreams. I don't work a day in my life. I swear to God. And these teachings and tools weren't meant for just me. So they were meant to be shared with the world for heart-centered people that don't like the in your face approach of
mhm,
some other systems. And the most beautiful thing about it is the community, is being
mhm,
reflected as you truly are, because we are all brilliant stars if we
mhm,
choose to believe
mhm,
that. And
mhm,
when it's reflected back to us, like you reflect to me and I reflect to you, Lisa, like
mhm.
I see you as the superstar that you are. I see you on world-class stages with people that are really big globally, that are your heroes. I see you there.
Right.
And so when you're seen there, you rise up and you see
Yeah.
yourself differently. And
Yes.
that is the magic in this program. I'm just going to put it out, if you're interested in
Yes.
joining us, it is a week long and you can also win a 6-month mentorship. So if you follow
Ooh.
along in the book and you submit it and do a little video and talk about what the biggest aha was for you during that week, you have a chance to win. And it's over $2,000. So it's really good value for hanging in. And if you participate in the chat, you get more points for that. So anyway, the bottom line is I love that you brought this up. We didn't talk about this backstage. I'm just sharing it with you because there's at least one person that's meant to come and listen to this week
Yes.
long. And if you can't catch every day from 12 to 12:30, you can catch the replay in the group. So, but you could play along. There's a playbook. We don't call it a workbook, we call it a playbook. There's a playbook and try on some of these teachings and tools for size, like a new coat. See how
Yes.
they fit. And
Yes.
if they fit better than the old coat, take the old coat off and leave the new coat on, right? And
Yes.
it's all complementary. So I
Nice.
just I just want to say that and I hope you're okay with that.
Yeah, of course I'm okay with
Yeah.
that.
Okay.
Anything to help people do, their inner work
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
get moving, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Now you had talked about just briefly backstage, I know you had talked about shadow work.
Yeah.
So, and how this aligns perfectly with what we're talking about today, right?
Mm.
Through you. And you said you had something
Something happened. Yeah,
you
yeah,
wanted to share.
absolutely. Something happened this week where
If you want
I
to share.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna sort of share a little bit because I just don't want to give, the whole story away in the sense that I want to protect people's privacy too, right? So I'm gonna share what
Yeah.
I'm being guided to share. Yeah, so I just want to say that when people are triggering us,
Yeah.
when we feel like, oh, this kind of person just really bothers me, like, let's say it's a person that's really competitive, okay?
Yeah.
And so when you meet people that are really competitive, it's like you just back away. You're like, you're triggered. You back
Mm,
away from them, right?
yeah.
Well, here's the thing, here's the news. Okay. When you're being triggered over and over and over, you think it's other people, but
Oh, yeah.
how many fingers do you have pointing back at
Yeah.
you?
Yeah.
So I was recently triggered by a woman that was showing up a certain way, and it was driving me crazy. And I gave her the feedback that this is how you're showing up for me.
Yeah.
And she took it really well. God bless her. And I went deeper and I realized as I was waking up one morning when I was in alpha state, by the
Mm.
way, I got 99% in my hypnotherapy exam. Woohoo! I'm a certified
Woo!
hypnotherapist now. I just found out literally right before coming on.
That's
So I'm
awesome.
very excited about that. So what happens is, as you're waking up, you're in that alpha state. So your subconscious is more clear to you, right? You get ideas, you get creative as you're dropping off to sleep, as you're waking up. You know this way better than me because you've studied hypnotherapy
Yeah.
in more depth than NLP. So the subconscious mind is something you really understand. So
Yeah.
as I was waking up a couple of days ago, I realized I was pointing my finger at this woman, and really she was coming off as very competitive, and it
Right.
was driving me crazy. And as I was waking up, I realized
Ah.
this is your shadow. This
Mhm.
is the you that you don't want to show the world.
Wow.
Your shadow is competitive. And because I come from a world where I needed outer validation, like I
Yeah.
needed oxygen when I was
Yeah.
in big pharma and when I was working in the lab, it was all about what people thought of you, your boss, your coworkers, the
Right.
doctors you used to call on.
Right.
So my life was all about competition. I had to
Right.
compete to be seen.
Right.
So when I see women that are showing up really competitive, it irks me
Right.
because I just think there's enough for all of us. Why
Right.
can't we just get along? But Lisa, it's my shadow self.
Yeah.
It's the self that I've learned how to love a little bit more this week. I have shed a layer of disdain for my shadow. I am embracing and loving her. She did the
Wow.
best that she could.
Wow.
And I feel like a different person.
That's
And I'm
amazing.
grateful for her triggers because she was able
Yeah.
to help me release a layer. And now I just feel like I've up leveled. In fact, I've had some amazing things happen since. I got a big giant sale, and I'm happier, and people are reflecting, Elvira, you've done something. And I'm like, yeah, I just released a layer that I didn't need anymore, which
Yeah.
was hanging on to my shadow, pretending my shadow wasn't there.
Right.
But now I'm loving the shadow, the woman that had to be competitive to survive. I
Yeah.
love her, right?
Yeah.
She's still inside me. I don't operate as my shadow because I believe there's enough for everyone.
Right.
I don't want to compete with other women.
Right.
But that is the old me. That is my ego self that tried to protect me.
I love it. Like, that's huge. That's a mic drop. And then
Yeah.
that's, we'll go back to our topic of how to see the true you. That's how to see the true you.
Yeah.
When you actually take the time to well, you always take the time to do your inner work. So that's the wrong words for right now for this purpose. I think it's when you have that aha suddenly and go, "Oh, wait a sec," right?
Yeah.
And you're able to look and say, like you just did, "That's my shadow self," or
Yeah.
"That's my, inner child. That's
Yeah.
my," we call it there's so many different names for a
Yeah.
shadow. Your
Yeah.
unconscious mind is your body.
Ego. Yeah.
Your
Yeah.
whatever you wanna
Yeah.
call it doesn't
Yeah.
matter, but, that's the little girl in Huna energy, we call it the unconscious mind is the inner child, so that's the little girl in you showing you, right? And in quantum physics, and we talked about this last week, the past, the future, the now, it all happens simultaneously. There's no such thing as
Yeah. Oh, I just got chills when you said that. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
so in quantum physics, it's all happening all at once. So hence the layers that we uncover, because we might go back for a minute, which you did. The little girl said, "Hey, what about this piece?" And then we go forward, and then it's all,
Yeah.
but it's so beautiful how it
It
all
is.
happens to me.
Oh,
Like
oh,
it's
I
so
love it.
beautiful, right? So
I
that,
love it.
and give thanks, which you did to that
I
little girl.
did.
And
I love
sometimes
her.
I envision I know, and sometimes, and I know you do the mirror work and I know all of that.
Yeah.
So sometimes I look at that little girl as me, and I look in the mirror and I actually see her, and I'm just so grateful. So that what I was gonna say to that is we call it the onion, right? When you're
Yeah.
peeling
Yeah.
layers. And I say to clients, just because you've had a breakthrough
Yeah.
doesn't mean you're never going to have to work on this topic per se
Exactly.
again in your
Exactly.
life. It's the layer of the onion, or it's your little girl showing up. Hey, wait, we
Yeah.
have another layer to heal.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
difference is now that you've done some work is that you're able to look at it.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
able to say, "Oh, shit, I got
Yeah.
still another layer in me."
Yeah.
But give thanks for that, right?
Total gratitude. Total gratitude.
Gratitude, and
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
where, and I give this to clients, and if you haven't heard of it, I know you have, but for others,
Mm.
the Ho'oponopono prayer.
Oh,
When we're
it's
saying
beautiful.
it is beautiful because when we're saying it, "I love you, I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you," I often envision when I'm saying that, talking to my little girl.
Yeah.
I love you. I
Yeah.
am so sorry I left you with that,
Yeah.
holding on to that. Because we leave them, that little girl, with programs holding on to them
Yeah.
their whole
Yeah.
life. And when they come up like they did for you just now, they're saying, "I'm ready to be released. Show it
Yeah.
to the light.
Yeah.
Show it to the
That's
light."
right. Because when a shadow comes to the light, so good, Lisa. Thank you. When a shadow comes to the light, it's not a shadow anymore.
Yep.
It's integrated in your being, and you know that that's how you've had to show up to survive. Your ego
Yes.
is just there to protect you as you're
Yes.
growing up, and
Yes.
when you just honor that ego as opposed to pretending it's not there. And some people say, "Crush the ego, kill the ego." No,
No.
integrate the ego
Yes.
and watch yourself rise in happiness, in joy, in good
Yes.
mental health, in good physical health. So that shadow is really important. And I did some really big shadow work this week, and I am so grateful for that woman triggering me, grateful for so I know she's gotten growth out of it because she got to see how she's been showing up,
Yeah.
because she's a very knowledgeable person with a lot of degrees from very high established universities, and she couldn't handle that. She perceived that I had something over her, so
Right.
she went after me. She was like, "Yeah, well, you're not that good."
Right.
And I was like, "Hey, lady, like, watch it, right?"
Right.
So that's how she was showing up for me, and I let her know that. But at the same time, she was showing me a part of myself that had to
Right.
heal, that
Right.
I had to integrate. So
Right.
this is doing the work, guys. This
I
is
love
doing the
it.
work. And I
I
do it every day. If I'm not, so I mean, I'm not, having these breakthroughs every day, but I'm using the tools every day that allow me to stay in my higher vibration self where I manifest my heart's desires, AKA miracles. And
yeah.
that's why I call myself a miracle magnet. And yeah, and this system that came through me, oh my God, if it's my medicine. If I wasn't living and breathing it every day,
Yeah.
I'd either be in a gutter or dead.
Yeah.
I would not be who I am right
Yeah.
now. And I just feel like, yeah, it's just something I want to shout from the rooftops. And I'm so blessed to have a team that they might be in the chat below. I'm not sure, that is going to be co-facilitating this with me next week. My beautiful two lead mentors, Eleanor Hayward and Jennifer Hawkins. We're going live for the whole week. And then we have our apprentice team who's learning how to become mentors. They're going to be in the chat because we're going to be in our conversation on stage. And it's just a way of learning some new tools. Even people that have done a lot of personal growth have said, Elvira, your tools make the most sense of any ones I've ever done. Like,
Mhm.
you've put it together in this beautiful box and it makes so much sense. And I'm like, yeah, it makes sense because it came through me to share with more of the world.
Mhm.
Not everybody's up here. Not everyone's like you, Lisa, in terms of, understanding the spirituality and the woo-woo and all of that great,
Mhm.
deeper stuff. Some
Mhm.
people are at the beginning of their
Yes,
journey.
absolutely.
And that's who we cater to, is the people at
Yeah.
the beginning. But even the people that are further ahead say, wow, this is great. And I want to facilitate it.
Right.
Every graduate of the program says they want to be a facilitator. So it's like, yeah, how could I not want to shout this from the rooftops and share
Right.
it with more amazing heart-centered humans? So yeah,
It's
I
amazing.
hope people
No,
join us
it's
next week.
amazing. And you know what I was gonna say, you just talked about your, being able to you still do the work, you still have the work. But the thing of it is I find those ahas, and that's like the miracle that you talked about, just come to you a little bit quicker versus someone who's maybe, I like to say, asleep, not fully
Yeah,
awake. And
unconscious.
it's not a bad thing. Yeah,
Yeah,
not that's
yeah.
not a bad thing. That's no slight. It's just they're not there. They're not ready to do
No,
their
and
soul
that's
work.
okay. Yeah, and
And
that's
that's
okay.
okay. That's totally fine.
It's a
Everybody,
choice.
yeah. And the other day I was thinking, a year ago, 2 years ago, say, because I was into it a year ago. So maybe 2 years ago, I don't know that I would have been like all over Joe Dispenza and let's take on quantum physics and all of the
Yeah.
rest. I've been a very spiritual person for over 20 years, but I don't know if I would have been, because I don't have a science background. I'm not a sciencey person, to be honest. Um, but when the student is ready, the teacher will appear.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's the same as anybody doing their work, right?
Yeah.
When the student is ready, the teacher will appear in whatever form that is. It could be a book, it could be a person, it could
Yeah.
be, a program. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter.
Yeah.
It's just when you're open. And
Yeah.
I want to, like, how do we become open? Like I
Yeah.
had a client the other night I was talking to. How do you become open to that? I think the best place to start is just sitting down and starting to meditate and just
Yeah.
saying to the universe, whoever you believe that is, God,
Yeah.
source, doesn't matter. Just
Nature, the force from Star Wars, whatever you want to believe in. Yeah.
yeah. But I think if you just sit down and just be open and just
Yeah.
say, I'm open to hearing and help
Yeah.
and getting help moving forward.
Yeah.
Just even those words, it just has such a powerful intention. That intention alone is
Yeah.
going to help the teacher appear in whatever
Yes.
form that is,
Yes. Yes.
right?
And if I can add the corollary to
Yes.
that, ooh, there's a $10 word.
Ooh, I like
When the
that.
yeah.
You got off
When
of Wordle?
no, I did corollary is too long for Wordle. I got it in 4 today, by the way. Anyway, my husband and my son's partner got it in 2 a couple of weeks ago. Oh my God, I couldn't believe it. Anyway, so the other corollary to that is really something for you, Lisa. When the teacher is ready, the students appear.
Yes.
So Lisa, when you really own your brilliance at the
Love
highest
it.
level, all the students are going to find you because you're not here to teach some curriculum in some school, Lisa. You're a
No,
teacher. You
no.
are here to teach this. You are here to help humanity to evolve.
Uh,
And when you own it at the highest vibration, Lisa, you will be so busy. You will have like a waiting list of people that want to work with you. And that is what I want for you, my sister. That
love
is what I see for
I'm
you.
just soaking that in as you say it, because again, I pull that card, seeing the true you,
Yeah. And
right?
I'm reflecting to you the true you
I know.
because I see this is why people hire coaches and mentors because they see in you what you can't see in yourself.
Yeah.
So I pray, Lisa, that something shifts because of this conversation today, right? That's gone public, right? We're on your group, 18,000 plus people. We're on YouTube. I pray that you take it to the next level, whatever it is, because you need to be seen by those you're meant to serve because
Yeah.
the world needs your gifts.
Thank you.
And I am so grateful that we get to do this together, Lisa.
I- and Tori Joe, I love Tori Joe. I'm waiting for you to jump on, Tori Joe. I'm
We
waiting.
love you, Tori Joe.
I love her so much, and so it will be. Oh, thank you,
Yes.
Tori Joe. And you know what,
Yes.
Tori Joe, if you didn't catch the beginning, you should go back and see the kerfuffle, whatever word I'm trying.
The reality. It's real. We're real, not perfect, right?
Lack of tech not working,
Yeah.
and anyway. So yes, so we are talking about seeing the true you. And there's another one, Tori Joe. If you do not know her, everyone get in touch with her. She is such a
She's
beautiful
amazing.
soul. You know what I would like to do?
She's
If
a doctor of metaphysics. How cool is that?
I know,
Right?
honestly, I know
Yeah. Yeah.
she's amazing. I would love for her. She's just so. She does so much work with EFT, emotional
Mhm.
freedom. I
Yeah.
would
Yeah.
just
Tapping.
tapping. I would
Yeah.
love for
Yeah.
her to do something on our page with that, and
Yeah.
do
Yeah.
a weekly tapping or whatever.
Yeah.
So Tori Joe, if you're up for that, you let me know. I won't put it on you. You can just let me know how you're feeling. But Facebook has just alerted me. I've been waiting. Yeah, well, it might have something to do with us having some technical issues. I don't know. Anyways,
But you know what's great about having that kerfuffle and the technical issues? In the past, we would have been a little freaked out, right?
oh my God, I
We
totally would.
would have been more control freaks about it and perfectionists and oh my God, we're gonna look stupid and all that stuff. Instead, we just kind of went, oh geez, and oh shit, or but we didn't beat ourselves up. We just
No,
sailed into this conversation and we knew that spirit was going to give us the
yeah,
right words that we needed to serve our beautiful groups. So
yeah,
yeah,
100%, 100%.
yeah.
And you know what? That couldn't be. any better for seeing the true you as
Mm.
well, right? Like, maybe
Yeah.
there's a
Yeah.
message in that as well. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
And the
my
true you is real, not perfect, right? And
goodness.
and when we get that, we don't have to be perfect. So many of us were raised with the feeling that we had to be perfect little children so our parents would love us, right? That was my story, right? I had to become what my parents wanted me to become. I wanted to be an artist. I wanted to be a singer on a stage. Well, they wanted me to be a doctor, right? So I went through not one but two very, let's just say glamorous healthcare careers, right? Once, one was working at Princess Margaret Hospital in cancer research, the other was working for big pharma in two different very big companies. But those weren't who I truly was.
Yeah.
I chose those careers to please my parents. I
Yeah.
wasn't living my truth.
Yeah.
So I'm here to show that it's never too late to
Yes.
leave your inauthentic act one to move to your authentic act two. And that's what my
100%.
one-on-one coaching is all about, right?
Yeah.
So we don't have to stay with the old stories, the perfectionism, the control, the I'm not good enough, because that's the programming we got from our parents, right? We can do the inner work. You do it really quickly with your modalities. With my modality, I have a 6-month program, but I also have, fast programs too. It all depends. It's up to you when you want to shift. If you're ready to
Yeah.
shift now, you can shift. If you want to shift in a community where it takes a bit more, effort, not effort, more time. It's more like the gentle rain soaks approach, then you can do it that way. Everyone can choose whatever way they want to do it. Choose your own adventure, so to speak.
Yeah.
But it's like when you realize you don't have to be perfect, you can be real. And
Yeah.
that's what we showed up as today. We were
Yeah.
just real. We
I
weren't
know.
perfect,
I
right?
know.
We didn't even know what we were going to talk about. You showed me that card. That was it. That was our starting point. And Spirit's given us all the words, right?
I
So
know, it's so true. And before we go live, I always, tap into my guides and I always ask them, what would you like me to talk about today? Because I'm here to serve like you
yeah,
are. We
yeah,
are here to
yeah.
serve.
Humble
And
servants. Yeah.
right. And if this conversation doesn't serve people, if it stops serving people, well then,
We'll stop.
yeah, we'll stop. But this is why we're here. But yeah, along that, as a former teacher, I went through teaching. I thought I wanted it at first, right? So I can't say I did it for no one told me what to do in my family. It was very, you do what you want. But but I also played a role in teaching
Mm,
because I always grew up feeling not smart enough, which
mhm.
is probably why I'm always attracted to like really, really highly intelligent people because I always felt like I wasn't smart enough. That was a limiting belief in me. I had a teacher tell me that in
Yeah,
school. So
yeah,
then I grew up with that belief.
yeah.
And, so for me, I always wanted to, I always wanted to appear something different. I wore a mask,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
At, at
Ego
school. So
mask.
I wore
Yeah.
a mask.
Yeah.
And now it's just, I mean, I've dealt with that limiting belief. I've worked on it. It's again layers. It's always layers, but I've worked on that. And now it's like, I don't, just like you said, I would have freaked out before
Yeah. Yeah.
this didn't work. Like
Yeah.
this jumping on. I would have been like, oh my God. And I would have been almost paralyzed because
Yeah.
I've got to be perfect to
Yes.
show
Same
up
here.
the
Per
way people
Mhm.
think I am, or not the way people think I am, the way I think they think I am.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like a Seinfeld episode.
It's true. It's
You know
true.
what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
we only hold those ridiculous untruths in
Yeah.
our own unconscious mind, in our own, but today, seeing this couldn't have been more perfect.
Yeah.
This was so planned. The universe is hilarious.
The universe is laughing right now.
The
It's like,
universe
"Ha
is
ha
hilarious.
ha. Look what you
Because
did today."
they
But it
just
shows you how much you've grown when it gives you a
yeah,
test, right? It's like,
yeah,
"Okay, have you done your inner work?"
yeah,
And we have. We've shed layers of having to be perfect, right? Most of humanity is afraid to be judged and look stupid.
yeah.
That is most of humanity.
I was that person
I was that person too.
and still do have some of those tendencies,
Well,
I'm
you're
not gonna
still
lie.
releasing, and that's
But
okay.
I'm still releasing, and, Tori Joe said, "Healing is never instant.
Yeah.
There is no such thing as instant gratification, and shame on that teacher, but congrats on you for proving them wrong." Yeah, 100%. And I don't blame that teacher per se anymore. It's just that's who she thought she was. Like
Yeah.
that's okay, right?
She was your angel of evolution. That's what we call it in the Love Your Vibe transformation. She forced you to evolve.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
100%, 100%.
Yeah.
But I am so grateful for the work that, I've done because I wouldn't be here if I didn't do that work
Mm.
and still doing that work because
Yeah.
like I just said, there's always parts of me that feels like, "Oh, I don't wanna sound stupid. I don't
Yeah.
wanna appear stupid. I'm not as smart as that I still have that
Yeah.
runs
You're
through my
releasing it though, Lisa. And this conversation today, I pray is another breakthrough for you to
yeah,
get an aha later.
yeah,
And I pray because every time you get verbal about something, it does shift something in you. That's
yeah.
my desire for
That's
you.
awesome. That's
Yeah.
awesome. And you know what? I'll tell you something else. I never talk about that, and I never say that with anyone. So,
Oh,
if that's not getting vulnerable on today's show, like, I
yeah.
feel like
Well, me and my shadow, right?
mm,
Yeah, yeah. So we have to be vulnerable because
I try to
if
hide it. At least I always try to hide it.
yeah,
Well,
that's
that's
your
sometimes
shadow. That's your shadow. And you know what? Put the shadow in the light and love her and say, I love you. Like I actually gave mine a name because it's my old middle name, Maria. Maria is my shadow.
okay.
And I am going to love on Maria. I'm going to acknowledge her every once in a while. Say, how you doing? You tried to keep me safe all those years, and I'm just going to keep loving on her and honoring her.
Yeah,
So give your shadow a name and speak lovingly to her. And you know what? I bet you some really cool stuff's going to happen, Lisa. And we can talk about it on this show.
I love it. I love it. Thank you. Thank you.
I love
Well,
you.
we are at I love you too. We are at 31 minutes.
Yes.
So I could keep talking
Oh,
forever,
all
especially
day.
before Joe talks to us too, so I love it.
Thank you, Tori Joe, for joining us.
I
And thank you
know.
to everyone.
Yeah, thank you to everyone that will watch this later and will watch it on YouTube. We are so grateful for all of you. And until next week, keep seeing and keep being yourself, please. Yes.
Yes. Bye. Love you.
Bye.
3, 2, 1, 0.
1, 2, 3, 4.